guys, this is Leanne here, and today on my channel I am going to be doing thoughts on first time home buying and everything about it. I personally have never bought a home. Thoughts on first time home buying as a non-homeowner. So let's just get straight into it.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why.
So I'm going to start off kind of just like things that I've learned from YouTubers and people just like personally in my life who have bought a home for the first time. Just get started, shall we? So the first thing you want to know is whether you are going to buy a home or buy land. That's the first thing you want to decipher with your partner and whoever like is going to be living in your house, whether you're going to buy a home or buy land, because buying a home is relatively easy if you know what you want, and the whole process of buying land and building a home is way more difficult. That's kind of like the most Captain Obvious here, so I'm just gonna lay that out. Whether you are buying a home or land, you really want to know the style of the house that you want. That is going to help you out tremendously. It is going to save you time in the end. It is going to save you time in the long run, and honestly it is going to make your process easier, and it is going to make you save money in the end, because now that you know what you want and you are for sure knowing what you want, you don't have to sell your house your first time house and buy a new one because it's just not the style. It doesn't fit you anymore. Yardage for the backyard is again a must, because again, if you are a first time home buyer, you are most likely from the ranges of about 22 to about, I want to say like 30. So you are about in that 8 years range where you probably haven't started a family yet, or you have one kid, or you have fur babies, who knows. And you know you're going to build a family, depending on how much of a family is how many things play into factors, like how many rooms you're gonna get, how many bathrooms you're gonna have, the yardage, how many fur babies you have. All of that is gonna play in key factor on your future when you are buying your first home, because that again is going to save you in the long run. If you don't know if you're gonna have 4 babies, you should talk about it before even having a first time home, because again, it's going to save you money. And the process of like having kids, I mean, it's a serious topic, and I can make a whole separate video. But you know, say you had an oopsies and you only have 2 bedrooms, so one of your kids is gonna have to shack up with each other, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's gonna suck for both parties, you as the parents and the kids, because they like their own space. And that's kind of like for you to decide whether you want your kids to share a room or for them to have their own rooms. But personally for me, I would want my kids to have rooms to themselves unless they want otherwise. Also want to know like your must-haves that will make or break that home. For instance, like, again, and this is specifically if you're buying a home already like made, is the kitchen good enough? What are things that you would want to add to the kitchen or fix to the kitchen? Lay those all out, write them in your notes. When you're going through the house for the first time, take your time, because it is going to make or break your situation. Take your time, look through it. Is it physically, like, is it going to be enough space for you and your growing family? Is it going to be enough space for your fur babies? Is it going to be enough space for you without feeling cluttered with all of your stuff in it, because you want to imagine all of your stuff in it? What kind of stuff do you have? How much stuff do you have? Is there any storage? You know, like your kitchen, and for women specifically, women love kitchens and bathrooms. That's like what makes or breaks the house, is the kitchens and the bathrooms, because girls have a lot of stuff in the bathroom. Like they have their hair and makeup tools, their everything shower tools. They have their shower tools, and then you have to share a bathroom with your significant other. So they're gonna have space, you know, they're gonna have space rather. So you really, and for the kitchen, it's really like preference based on like what you have in the kitchen. If you're a big time kitchen ear like I am, I'm always in the kitchen. I really want space. And I will show you guys my kitchen. And this is not a home we bought. This is a home we rent. But, and we meaning my parents and I, if you guys don't know. But this is, there is no storage here whatsoever. There is no storage, and we are fighting to figure out where to put our pantry stuff, like our pantry items. It's always a wrestle because even in our cabinet, we don't have enough space for all of our pantry items. Depending on what your preferences are, so in your house, do you want a full large pantry? Do you want a large kitchen and a large bathroom? Like, how would you want your like must-haves, and what would make or break them? Because that would be the easiest way to tell if the house is right for you and your growing family. Because I feel like a lot of first-time homeowners forget that they're going to start growing a family eventually, even if they do 10 years down the road and they've lived in that house for 10 years. You forget that you're in the process of building a family. You know, like you want to make sure that the entire house is workable for you and your growing family. And you also want to know preferences you want. So like for instance, preference that I want but wouldn't mind not having is both a walk-in shower and a tub. But if I don't, in my master bathroom, and if I don't have that, I can always design in a walk-in shower and a tub. As long as my guest bath has a tub, that would be fine with me. But that's like an example for you, like something that you really like, a preference but you wouldn't mind not having. For a lot of people it's really like a covered backyard, like a place to sit and have covered space. A lot of people always add that in with umbrellas, or make their own pergola, or you know, stuff like that. You know, they can always fit that in. That's another example. You also want to know how much money you're gonna spend, like how much your entire budget is, and you're gonna stick to that budget. Because a lot of people are like, oh well, I'm willing to go over the asking price, or I'm willing to you know spend more money on this type of house. And again, it's usually always like a starter home, like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, you know, not enough for like family to live comfortably in 2-bedroom. And you also want to keep in mind, when you are in the home buying process, there is a part in the process, inspections process. You always want to get that inspection done, and don't take it as seriously, because you keep in mind they're always going to inspect every nook and cranny there is in the home. But to know what repairs you want to negotiate with your homeowner, like the previous homeowner, to see if they can fix to what you wouldn't mind fixing, is a big deal. Because a lot of people, especially down here in Florida is very much so a modular type of home, like cookie cutter, copy paste type of home, and they don't spend much time on it. So there's a lot of mistakes and that people like can find more easily in like modular homes. But also keep in mind, when you're like negotiating with the homeowner, the homeowner has the right to say no, and the homeowner has a right to say no to you reducing the price because of these must fix things. So you want to be open to the fact that it may not go your way, and the previous homeowner may not agree to any of your negotiables, because at the end of the day, they do have a right. Now I'm going to go into my thoughts on the whole first time home buying experience. I've talked about this previously, but I feel like a lot of home buyers get stuck in the now, and then when they go to grow a family, they tend to sell their first time home buying property, when in reality it could have been much easier if you had saw yourself and kids in the home. If you can't see yourself, your significant other, and your kids and your pets in this home, there's no reason to buy it. I'm going to be honest with you, there is no reason buying it. Why are you going to buy something that you don't see your entire family that you have created in it? You know what I'm saying? And I know like some people don't ever want to have kids. That's not the topic of who I'm talking about specifically. Those are people who fit the first time home buying with the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Sometimes it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom type of home. Like that is probably the property for them. I'm not really talking about those types of people. And going on to like kind of like adding on to it, they tend to buy properties with less yardage for like backyard yardage, and then they have fur babies or they have kids and they start wanting to have a playground or add a little swing set or even basic trampoline type of stuff. They always get stuck having to either downsize or buy a new home because it just doesn't fit their wants and needs then. So like it'll fit their wants and needs before kids, but not after kids. And that's what gets me. I really don't understand that. Why, and again, I've already said this, why are we buying homes that, or why are first time homeowners buying homes that you can't see yourself, your future significant other, and your kids in there? If applicable, if you want kids. Applicable if you want kids. Now I'm going into my home buying experience when I get there, like how my process is gonna go, or most likely to go rather. First of all, I am wanting to buy land, preferably 10 acres out in Tennessee. I just want to have my own farm. I want to be more self-sustainable, grow vegetables, have like a garden, and have like my own animals that I can, you know, use, like chickens, cows, you know, the whole 9 yards. And this kind of goes before I even start the process of my home buying process, or my home land buying process. First of all, I'm gonna have a version of what my house looks like in and out, like inside and out, or at least have just the inside of like what I want kind of like my layout to be. That way when I get to the part of, you know, starting to build my house, when I go to a custom home builder, because that's what I want personally, I don't have to sit there and like, you know, find the nitty gritty. And plus I can use what I've learned in my interior decorating, you know, class that, you know, I can use. And also I do want to just, you know, things do change. People start to not like the house. There's just things about the house that they just start to not like, and that's okay. Like that, I'm not saying that like I dislike when people, you know, sell their first house to buy another one. It's just like, it's specifically, this video is specifically geared towards people who buy their first time home, grow a family knowing that they're going to grow a family, and then have to buy another home because of the fact that they don't have enough space. That's where I'm gearing this video towards. But nonetheless, I again am gonna know what aesthetic slash style that I like, and I already know my aesthetic slash style to the house, and I want to make sure it flows within, inside and out of the house. That way it's not like colonial outside back in the like George Washington days, and then like country in the inside. Like that doesn't really flow together. And like I feel like this is where in the home building process people start to like not know much of, and this is where things go wrong. This is where people start to not pay attention in what's happening in their home building process. They're like, oh, my home is being built, like, and then they just like kind of like let it go. You always want to know almost every single process. You kind of want updates, maybe not like updates every day on what they did, but like weekly updates. What have they done? How much have they done? Like, you know, kind of stuff like that. Your home, you know that your home is being built up to your standards. Being in tune in what's happening in your home building process is going to make, again, a smoother home building process, because at the end of the day, I've seen on like Flip or Flop where, and that Flip or Flop isn't really a good, like, I guess example, but in Flip or Flop where they're like, what is this? Like, they were gone for like 2 weeks and they saw something completely different. Nothing has been done within the 2 weeks, and then they're like, I have like 2 weeks left of this process. What am I supposed to do? You know, you don't want that, because then there's the possibility of having to tear what's already been done down, and that costs money. So the less money you spend and less mistakes that are made equals having to be more in tune in the process. Now kind of like into the details of why I've chosen to go home building for my first time home, then like home buying, like first time home buying. Really, that way I know that I get what I want out of it. That way I have what I want in my home. That way I can grow old with the home, instead of, you know, the idea of having to do second time home buying, third time home buying. Because some people in some families have to go 3 to 5 times in order to find the right home for them, and really you're not saving your money and you're really wasting your money, because the money that you put down and the money that you spend for mortgage already is gone. Like, it's already gone, it's already done. So it's like if you haven't paid off that first mortgage, there's things that I don't know about really, but like there's a process to that too. You don't have to waste as much money. In the now, it's hard for a lot of people to sell their home because the market is all over the place. It is up, it's down, it's sideways, it's more expensive nowadays than when you first bought that home. So not having to waste time to find a realtor to help you sell the home, and how long it's going to take for you to sell the home, because you still have to pay mortgages when you're selling your house. Like, that's obvious. You're still paying for your house. So it's like, and then it goes back to like the cycle of like saving money and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is a part 1 to the series. Eventually I'm going to add more to this as I grow and as I move, you know, the whole process. But for now, this is part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, moving forward. Hi guys, my name is Leanne, and first time thoughts from a non-home buyer. It's thoughts on a, why is it so fucking complicated? That's what that is. So I'm gonna kind of go, hold on. Okay. Hold on, now I gotta get comfortable. I'm going to start with just like things that I've seen. So, no, I'm not gonna say so. We're not saying so today. So, hold on. Oh, no, my foot's open. My foot's open. Okay, that is not comfortable. Is my foot gonna be, oh, that's kind of great. Okay, so I am so sorry. I had my phone on. Probably, really? Okay, I was talking about our pantry storage and how we don't have any. You forget that, sorry, you know, fix that. It's very easy to get that done, but you know, I can always, a 3 to 4 family, agree to any of your negotiations. May not agree to any of your and like I said, well, I said that. Now I'm going into my thoughts on my own first time home. Now I'm going into my thoughts in how I'm gonna go about my home, now I'm gonna go into my thoughts into my first time home buying process. Oh, actually, now I'm gonna go into my thoughts and like the whole general topic of like my thoughts on, well, the whole 10 yards. That way you know that what, you know, like hold on. But nonetheless, knowing I get what I want in my home the first time I build my home. Like the first time I know what I want is in my home, you know, like when I'm, and then if you haven't paid off that
too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.